Hey, how you doing? Looks like I can't record from the comic book room. I don't know what's going on, but let me shut off the overhead light and I'll record from here. Sorry, I wanted to record while sorting comics. I need to sort comics and I can't really do it from here. There's just too many comics. I got a table back there, and I'm just kind of pissed off. This laptop is a waste of money. It if I could only record for this. So I just ordered a long cord so I could take this camera and bring it over there. But then I can't read the chat. So maybe I'll have to just watch it quietly on my iPad or something like that. So there you go. I don't know. I can't do what I wanted to do. I'm annoyed, but I already scheduled this. So sorry, everybody. So first and foremost, I wanted to talk comics with people. I wanted to sort comics. So here's an open invite if anybody wants to come in. Let's see. Any comments? Yes. So here, my comic Heroic Tales 2 is on Kickstarter. Is on Fund My Comic. Old Dirty Fatty is finally first. I've been trying to get StreamYard to figure out why it's giving me the after ads instead of the before ads. They don't respond. I tweeted them. They don't respond. Yeah, I'm late because I got a booster. This laptop is a piece of crap. No wonder it was on sale. So this is my home computer. The laptop is updating and charging and everything. Having a black day. It's watching us. How you doing, Matthew? How's everything? That's a creepy image. This it's Thor fighting an evil caveman. Okay, mention your comic. Go ahead. Good. It's all about comics. Mention your comic all that you want. So let me get my cup of coffee. I left it in the other room. And hope you can still hear me. I really wanted to sort comics, so I'm just going to take a stack of comics and bring it out. Kind of annoyed, so forgive me for being annoyed. There we go. All right, I'm dropping comics. This is not going to be enough room, but you do what you can do. So I ordered a long cord while I was waiting for all the updates and everything like that, so I could plug it into this computer and go over there. Oh, the image before this. Oh, that's Mary Sue's symbol. That's Mary Sue's symbol. All right, so here is comics that I'm sorting. Let's bring this up and we'll check this out. I'll remove, turn it off, and extra camera. That'll change the focus. So there we go. All right, so we got 8 people watching. This is me sorting comics. This was a big stack of comics that I just read. Tor is what I was about to read when I realized it was time to go live. And down here are a stack of comics that I still have yet to read. Over here is a box full of King Fu hoodies on sale. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. We got wires, everything over here. And here are some comics. Now, I already showed all of these off, and I'm just sorting them while I'm talking. So, there we go. So, anybody want to come in and talk comics with me? Did I have a good Labor Day? I had a real lazy, to the point where I'm like disgusted with myself how lazy I was this weekend. That's why I wanted to sort comics and everything like that. Like today, I'm off. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I don't have to leave to go to work till 7, till 2, because I'm working the afternoon shift. So I'm like, I know me. This is 3 days. I slept till like noon today. Geez, what a bum that I recorded a short video, and now I feel like I got to do something. So I just did laundry. I cleaned up a little bit. I was like, let me stream, because I get disgusted, when you just laze around all day long, and that's what I've been doing, just lazing around. So I'm just putting comics in alphabetical order, E, F, G. So this goes after that. B goes first, and that's all I'm doing. I was gonna put comics in alphabetical order, and then put them in boxes. So oh, how you doing? Arkham has everything. I'm sick today. Oh no, don't be sick. Well, nothing I can do about it. So I'm hoping my cord shows up, and then I could rig up doing streams from the comic book room, because this one is just a little too short. So this one's the cord that I just ordered is like six feet. So what you do is you plug this into that, and then I should be able to stream from the back room. So see, I got QRST, we got Tor. So anybody reading any comics? Anybody reading anything? I was on Vaughn Coleman's channel yesterday. We were talking about dinosaur villains, and Dr. Dinosaur is my favorite dinosaur villain. Channel yesterday. We were talking about dinosaurs. Hey, turn off YouTube.
Already done it.
Yeah. Okay. We get the infinite loop. How's everything?
It's going well. Been working on a piece since yesterday morning. I kind of want to show it to you because it's about 80% done, but I think it's one of my best pieces, so I kind of don't want to show it to you until it's done.
Well, I don't want it to be a surprise. Like, what if there's something fundamentally wrong and we got to fix it? You know what I mean? So, like, I think it's best to show it.
That's fine, because I'm love doing it anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's what you wanted, and I'll send you a sneak peek, and you can show it to somebody if you want to.
Yeah.
Be right back.
So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Arkham over here is doing a story. The only thing I'm keeping a secret is the title. I don't want to release the title until we're released. So, we're not going to explain what's going on, but he's going to show. What is it? Page 1?
No. It's it's a reveal. Remember when I said I wanted to make something a panel on its own splash page?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, cool. So this will be pretty cool. So
you want to see it right now? Put it up live.
Yeah. Put it up, and I'll make it big. Yeah. There's only 10 people watching, and nobody's gonna remember by the time we're able to publish it. You know what I mean? And plus, people like sneak peeks. Give the true fans a taste of what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna badly quote the phrase because I don't have the script in front of me. And at the bottom is the worst of the worst. Chaos incarnate. I believe that's what you wrote. So
okay.
I don't know if you can even get it all in this picture.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What page is that? I got to look at the script.
Let me go get it.
That looks awesome. I've been saying Arkham's work is a beautiful mix of Mobius and Frazetta, right? So it's funny because I came up with this story literally in a dream, and then I realized it tells a part of a missing part. Like, I have an overarching story going on. Like, you can't tell that from just one comic, but you'll sort of, like, a 4 or 5 issues, you'll see that I'm going someplace. Yeah. But I realized there's a fundamental thing missing that this story is gonna fill in a detail. So this one might come in sooner rather than later. Oh wow!
So like the individual, how it's described.
Yeah.
It's been done like only 2 ways, 1,000 different times, right? So I wanted to do something different, and it's still within the description of the way it is with how they describe it. It's within the story itself.
What page is that? So I could
That is page 9, panel 4.
That's one panel.
this is going to be a splash page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at the end of panel 5, an individual says at the bottom of panel 5 before panel 6, and then wherever you choose to place that on this page. Because the panels before this page will be as he is observing. You know what? With kind of being vague on what I'm saying. It's almost as if he's tumbling into it astrally.
Okay.
And he's seeing the things that you put down described as they're taking form. Almost like a Dante's Inferno experience. Does that make sense?
Okay. Okay.
That's the way I see it, because it's like he's there, but he's not there because of what happens on.
The only thing I'm afraid of is I don't want you to do all of this detail and then be like, listen, that strays too far from the story, and we can't use it, because you put it in so much effort. So like, could do page 1? Let's do page 1 part and make sure that that's good. And then we'll go to page 2. You know what I mean? Because, or just pick any page. Do the whole page, but don't jump around, because then I'm like, well, it doesn't work, and then you just did halfway of 5 pages. We got to fix it.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to do that. This is something I was going to do regardless. I'm like, you know what? That would be a great page. You know what? I'm going to just draw it.
Right. Okay. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you to kill yourself and then be like, oh man, that is awesome, but it's too different, or you know what I mean? So
yeah, and that's what I told my son. It's like, if it is too different from, and you and I can go into details on it from what you were thinking in your head. That's fine. It's a picture I love. You know what I mean?
It's a cool picture. So what page is that? So I can look up the script.
Oh, page 9.
Okay.
At the end of panel 5.
Okay. Panel 5, page 9.
Right. The first sentence is going to be several panels as it's kind of panning into the destination, and these things that you put down there are going to become more. I'm going to draw them more in detail as the panels emerge, and then as the last panel, you turn the page, and then what the individual says at the end of panel 5 would be this page.
Okay. There's something wrong with my internet. I'm wondering if it's even my computer, because even my phone now is going too slow. What is going on? I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood, but geez,
That's okay.
you buy a laptop so you can stream anywhere in the house, and then the laptop ain't working. What is going on? All right, I'm getting annoyed. Hey, Student of God is here. How you doing? Good to see you. How's everything? Open with Google Drive, and all right, I am ready to smash everything and everybody and everything.
We've all had those days.
Okay, now something's happening. Okay, cool. Future projects. So I'm going through my Google Drive. You have access to the folder, right, to drop off
Yeah, on my other profile. I just having trouble getting into it, so I have to probably reset the password.
Okay, so page 9.
Yeah, page 9. Go to panel 5.
Okay, where am I? Page 9, panel 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It says without.
Perfect. Okay. I was thinking of a different page. That's why I was getting so concerned.
Okay. No.
That is perfect. That is absolutely
reveal of as the individual is describing.
Right. It's hard to. Why am I? It's with where are we? We'll do this.
There we go.
We're being secretive, because I don't want to reveal what the story is about, the characters, or anything like that.
That's why I'm being very big.
Now that I just looked at the actual page, that is awesome. That is perfect. Okay. That is absolutely perfect. If you want to show it again, now that I actually know what we're talking about, so I can check it out.
Okay.
Now you put me in a good mood. Now I'm in a good mood. Thank you.
Okay. Now you're in a super good mood. Okay. So get in your head, panel 5.
Right.
What he says at the beginning, you're going to have smaller squares on the page before, and those pages are going to get bigger and each bigger square, each bigger panel on that page is going to have a bigger thing in it as he's describing them, right?
Okay.
And then at the bottom, yada yada, boom, and hence why, if you look right there, you can see somebody as he's taking in everything.
That is awesome.
And then the touch happens, and then boom, we're back to.
Now, how are you going to put that in one panel? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to shrink it and put it in a panel, or is that just you?
It's going to be in its own panel. It's going to be a splash page.
Oh, that is cool. Okay. All right.
I don't mind giving you extra hours onto a page if it's something I think it's going to be drawn out.
And like I said, the schedule, even if you were finished tomorrow, it's probably not going to be in a comic for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I got about 7 artists doing 7 different stories. And yours is more, I don't want to say more important, but yours is more instrumental to the main story. So yours, I don't want to say like hurry up, but you still got like 2 years, you know, because Renzo is finishing up a story that is going to be in somebody else's comic. He's on page 7 of 12 right now. Then he's gonna do 2 more posters for my Santa Claus story. Then I'm working on that script, finalizing that. He's gonna be drawing the Patriarch. When he's done with the Patriarch, he's drawing both stories in Heroic Tales 3. So that's gonna be the introduction of the Raven and then the continuation of Mary Sue. Once those are done, then I'm hoping by that time, then your story's done, and then all the other stories that everybody's doing, just whoever happens to be done first, we can put in. So you know what I mean?
With it. And here's one thing I thought about doing for myself, just for the practice. If you go, okay, I love what you're doing, especially once we have a few pages going, and you can see things continually, chronologically. You know what I mean? So it's easier to read instead of just throwing you a splash page. You know what I mean? I'm going to do we're going to do X pages, right? But I would like to, in my time on my dime, fill in and do a full 32. A full 32 pages.
You want to turn this into a 32-page story?
I think the story you wrote for me, to me, in my eyes, I see it as I write it, or visually write it with art. You know what I mean? I plan things. So I do previs, like you do, because I work in Hollywood. You know, that's kind of how I do things. I kind of map out where I want the stories to go and how things are going to visually evolve through the different aspects that you have, because you have several aspects that happen in here that are on. They're not at the same places, you know what I mean? So there needs to be a differential on those and how they look. And also there's a lot of things that reveal. Instead of having panel 1 blank, panel 2 reveal, I would like more of a slower reveal on some of them if possible. That's why I'm like, on my time, on my dime, once we're done with what pages we have, I want to fill in and expand things a little bit more visually.
I don't know what.
It is my plans for myself. You know what I mean?
Well, I know that there's
I want to create.
There's a scene where he goes into the throne room and there's 12 thrones.
I'm not even giving away that much, though.
That could be a double-page spread. You know, Absolutely. And when you get to that, I'll give you more and more detail, because I just read. Spoiler alert! It's based on Greek mythology, so you know the character goes into this empty Olympus and there's 12 empty thrones. But each throne I want to describe. You know what I mean? I wrote it, and I didn't think
Hera, Zeus.
Right. Because I read Edith Hamilton's mythology, and they go into detail of everybody's throne, and that would just be really cool. I think I put that as like the bottom third of one page, but we could literally turn that into 2 pages.
2 pages. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I showed you issue 1 or page 1 that I had planned previs and somewhat visualized in, right?
Right. You want to
Okay.
show the game? We'll give.
I mean, if you want to, what I did is I actually went back and I started redrawing it in pencil, this to see if my digital medium can compare with what I do on pen and paper. You know what I mean? Because with computer, it's like I know I can erase and go back, and it seems like I'm taking too much time. With pen and paper, I pencil it, and then once that pen drops, there's no going back. I kind of
Right.
like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I like that challenge. And with
If you
digital,
want,
it's like, I need to erase it. I need to go back and change it.
if you want to show it, go ahead.
Sure.
Because the pages you're showing aren't giving away, too much. The first. Plus, I like
Right,
that first page. It looks like a.
and it's super previs too.
It looks like a. Like so Mobius.
Let me see. How do I put up a picture?
Share screen. Oh, I thought you were just gonna physically hold it up.
Oh no, because the other one I have. No, you know what? I have it printed, but my printer sucks, so it's kind of light. But I'll bring it in.
Does Dionysus Thrones have elements of Hestia? It's funny that you should mention that, because I have 2 stories in the works, this being one of them, that address that. So I'm not going to answer that question. Read about it in the Sunday papers. Look at that. Look at that.
And that's the first page.
That
This right here, this is just literal previs. That's all. This is just putting bodies.
right. You can tell it doesn't have your detail. That's just placeholders. Yeah.
And you want perspective of background versus foreground. I've seen a lot of people draw. It's just flat. There's no perspectives whatsoever. I like my panels being alive. Like if you could step into it, you're going to know what's in front, what's behind, and so forth.
Yeah, it looks really like that. It just looks like I said, it's a good blend of Mobius and Frazetta, which is exactly what I thought of when because I asked one guy to draw it, and he turned it down because he's working on something very similar with somebody else, and he was just like, I don't want to jump from one Greek mythology story to another Greek mythology. I just caused you to faint. So I was like, that's cool. So I gave it to Renzo because Renzo could draw anything.
Right.
And then you approached, and I saw your art. And you know what your original art samples? I'm going to get this down. We don't even need. Oh, I got somebody in the background.
You ever see the stuff that I used to do? Like,
yeah, when you showed me all your art samples, and it was very Dungeons and Dragons, and this story is complete Dungeons and Dragons.
I just kind of wish I was a better comic book artist. I can't get those deep shades like a lot of comic book artists do. I'm more fantasy.
Well, stick with what you're doing. It looks really cool. If it looks unique, it looks unique. So your camera crashed. So that's the. I guess I don't need this light over here making my forehead. Whatever. Let me just adjust everything. Okay. This is how I normally stream, but since I was sorting comics, I had extra lights, and I'm just so annoyed that I bought this laptop so I could live stream myself playing board games and then go in the other room. And then I bought myself a signal booster so I could go anywhere. It's picking up the signal, but I thought it was the internet signel.
Do you have a net mesh in your house? Is that what?
Yeah, I got a net mesh. I ran it through the house and everything. Like this computer is wireless and it's on that. And my comic book room is 6 feet away. And this is fine. It's the laptop that's a piece of shit. No wonder it was so cheap. It was $180 on sale, and I realized I got screwed.
Yeah, they're gonna have fuck modem. It's a lot of times though. A lot of people don't realize, like say 250 megs is your download speed or whatever, which is generally fine. But once people don't realize they have 16 different devices hooked up to it, it's like, why is it running so slow? It's like, well, your refrigerator is constantly doing reports. Your oven now is smart, so it's doing reports. All these smart devices in your house, they just suck your internet to shit. That's why I'm just like, turn that all crap off, man. Just stop getting smart things. They're not smart. They just destroy your internet. Did you freeze, John?
Yeah, I was just checking when you said that. I was like, let me see what's actually on my internet, and I accidentally hit disconnect. So I'm back. So I'm back.
Barely noticed.
All right. How you doing, Matthew?
Hi,
What's up,
I'm
Matthew?
doing okay.
How you doing?
Yeah, my throat's a little sore from the illness I got, but I had to come back from work for.
I thought you
But
just
other
had
than that, I'm doing okay.
Good. So where am I? Something just happened. Did everything just flutter? Okay, I'm getting annoyed by this freaking.
Your face
But-
just froze. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I know. So
we
It-
can
it-
hear you, but yeah.
Try, John, this might help a little bit. Try dropping your quality of video that you're viewing down to like a 480. It's going to look like shit, but it's going to help your internet a little bit.
Yeah, I always go to the
only watch
lowest.
low resolution porn, or so I heard. Yeah,
Yeah, old Cinemax porn visuals. Yeah, that'll
yeah.
help you
I,
a little bit.
back when everything was all wavy. I think I see a boob.
Yeah,
That,
Yeah,
that-
trying-
that's old.
my favorite is trying to fix your tracker on that 50,000 copy VHS tape your cousin gave you.
Oh,
All the early days of how we used
it
to
might
get it.
interest you to know that I am currently streaming this video to my Facebook audience and friends.
Oh, I was wondering.
Hi, Facebook audience and friends.
All right, so
There's about 100 of them.
Matthew, Matthew's been you got a Kickstarter showing up.
Yep.
So
You want me to link it?
Yes. Yes. Tell us about your comic, and then Arkham and I are going to go back to talking about.
Okay. So basically,
what we're
it's
talking about. But here you
called
go.
The Night
Hold away
Slayers.
While I
It's
start these comics.
it's a supernatural mystery. I just linked it. It's kind of like Supernatural meets Grimm. We got currently
Okay.
21 followers and like hundreds of people on our mailing list. But making them go from mailing list to following the Kickstarter is more difficult than I expected.
I like the art. It reminds me a little bit of Mike Mignola. You know, very hard contrast. I mean, these are colored, mind you, but I like those thick lines, and it's completely opposite from my work, which is super scratchy. I love that how those lines are intentionally and they're big and blocky. I need to learn that style of art. It goes a lot.
It's not loading on my.
So little with it. It's amazing.
Do you have to have
Oh.
facial hair? No, you do not. No, you do not. Okay, it finally loaded. I don't know what's going on with my computer. I don't know if it's the internet, but I am ready to smash everything. And
I've had
Just-
those days.
so here we go.
It's coming.
Is my
There we
Did
go.
you lose me?
Nope, we got
There
you.
we go.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm getting real annoyed. Okay, it says my internet is fine. All right. So this is the Night Slate. This isn't available yet. When are you going live?
September 18th.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. And it's what did you say? It's Ghost. It's
Supernatural meets Grimm, basically.
okay. Cool. And you're the writer and the artist.
No, I'm just the writer. I commissioned some artists. I commissioned a line artist, an editor, and a colorist.
Oh, good for you.
Uh,
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't mind me asking,
The
what
only
made
one
you
I
go
know
with the art?
personally is the letterer and
Okay.
editor. He's Charles D. Massoint,
Okay.
or Massant, or
And
however
what?
you pronounce his last
How many pages is this going to be?
It's going to be 20 pages.
20 pages. And what's the price?
Retail or on here?
Yeah, on Kickstarter. You show me Kickstarter. So what's the price going to be on
Well,
Kickstarter?
I'm going to have it $5 for the digital copy, $10 for the physical copy.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, I'm starting to think my comic is too cheap. It's 40 pages and it's $10.
Oh, that's reasonable. I
Yeah.
mean,
Looks good, very professional. Old Dirty Fatty says. There you go.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
And-
I was
and
shocked.
how far along the way are you?
We have 50% of a book done.
There you go. I
The
think
first
it's
10
at least 50.
pages.
That way you get the bugs out. You know, can we work together? Does it look right? You know, did I get the right team together? That's smart. That's smart. And it does. This kind of reminds me of Magnola.
Mhm.
I hired a completely different art team before to do it, and the cover was good, but the interior art was less than desirable.
Yeah, that happens.
At least my opinion. My new
Well, yeah.
editor thinks that it was terrible, but I personally like the cover. But I will admit the interiors weren't very good.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's your book, so yeah, you
You're
have
the
fun
boss.
with it.
you're the boss. You got, if you're not satisfied with it, you gotta
Yeah.
do what you gotta do.
But he
It's
was a
your
friend of
thing.
mine who found this artist the first time, so I was scared to even tell him I thought it was wrong.
Yeah.
If
you-
it
you
wasn't
got-
for Charles, I would never have fired him, probably.
right. Well, I'm-
But I
I'm a-
think he did. I think he was right. This art is much better than the old art.
all right. We gave you some preview. I'm gonna go back to talk with Arkham about the story that we're working
Okay.
on. All right. Good luck.
Do I need
Good
to
luck.
leave or?
Well, me and Arkham we're gonna talk. You don't need to leave,
Okay.
but I'm gonna. All right. We're gonna close
Thank you.
that. No problem. So there we go. All right.
Yeah, I like the art in that. I like it.
Yeah,
It's really good.
It does. It reminds me of the coloring reminds me of Dave Stewart, who colors Hellboy, or at least used to. I don't know if he still does. And Dave Stewart used to color the Goon. Now the Goon is just black and white.
I kind of like the Goon black and white. I think it fits with that noir kind of style that it is. Let's see here.
Am I roboting it to everybody, or is it just Arkham roboting? I'm getting so
I think that was
so
me.
annoyed.
This time.
okay.
But you seem pretty on the money.
All right. So I was going to ask you something now I got distracted and I forgot. I'm off my game. I'm just so annoyed by that computer. So anyway,
Mhm.
I figure since I'm live, I'll talk. So I'm working on a different shift. So I'm a construction worker. When a job ends, you go to another job.
Right.
So the shop I'm with now, like we finished working in this hospital. And when the job's over, we kind of get reassigned. So I got reassigned to this one shop, and they are working in the school system. Now the school, we can't do construction while there's kids and teachers in the school. So we're working nights. So so I'm leaving my house at 2 p.m. and then working till 10 at night. And then if you know anything about the 5 boroughs, there's traffic accidents on the Cross Island. There's a truck that just doesn't know how to drive on the Throgs Neck Bridge. It takes me forever to come home. So I can't stream during the week anymore, is what I'm saying. So I talked to a few people. I've reached out to a few people like Billy Tucci's willing to but if anybody can stream with me, have a conversation that I'd like to do, it has to be, latest is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Wednesday, I'm going to have Phoenix Press. I'm going to reach out to Billy Tucci and nail down a time. I've been reaching out to a few other people, but if in the absence of people, because most people are in the rest of the country, that it's too early for them. They're at work. So if I can't get conversations with people, I will. I'll just do like today. I did a video about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #3. So comics that I just want to talk about or whatever, because I got to keep the channel active. I can't just disappear, and I got to promote. So
makes total sense.
I work late one night a week, and I hate it. I'm a morning guy. I'm a night guy, so I thought this was going to be great. I was like, I'm going to come home. I'm going to be so. I did nothing last week. I literally did nothing because I wake up. I've been waking up at like 6. I come down here because my wife's still sleeping. I don't want to disturb her. She comes down before she goes to work. She leaves at 8:00, and I just sit here and I read comics because I'm like, I got to go to work. I don't start anything because I'm like, I got to go to work. So I got to get myself into the state of mind is I got to get stuff done. I haven't written anything in a week. I haven't done any work on my comic in a week, and I'm getting really annoyed at myself. So, so I got to, and then I'm like, oh, when I come home, I'm a night owl. I'll do it. I come home, I'm tired. I go to bed. So I got to.
This new job that I have, I haven't even been to the gym in like 2 weeks since I started this job, and I've been pretty religious about going on a regular basis, and I just have to get used to, because it's like 10 to 6, and it's an hour drive.
Oh God!
When we get home, it's 7:00, cook dinner, do all that stuff. It's 9:00 at night. I don't want to work out at 9:00 at night.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna give you workout advice. I hate going to the gym. I hate working out. I mean, I do a lot of physical work, but I've been losing weight. My pants are falling off me because I gained a lot of weight when I was out of work with the broken neck. But if you don't wake up and do it right away, I ain't gonna do it. If you're gonna work out, you gotta wait. Like right now would be perfect for me to wake up, go to the gym. I really should, get myself.
It takes me like an hour to start functioning when I wake up because I generally have insomnia.
I wake up like I sleep to the last possible minute. The alarm goes off, and I'm out of the house within 10 minutes. I wake up, pack everything up. My wife is making my lunch while I'm doing everything, and then I go, and then I take a shower when I come home because I don't care if I'm clean for construction. Right.
You're going to be sweating and dirty anyways because
you're covered. I've been crawling. This job, literally, I'm John McCain. I'm climbing through ducks.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And it is. I always laugh. I'm like, guys, Die Hard. It's a good movie. It's a lot of fun. Or the Boomtown Rats is the other movie where they're climbing through ducks.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you do not want to do that.
No.
You will die. You will die if you climb through ducks. First off, they're greasy. They use a grease to keep them from rusting. So you're gonna that grease collects all metal filings. So you're gonna get just cuts all over your body from the metal filings. Then they use these self-tapping drills to put them together. They stick out every couple of inches. So as you're crawling, you're literally going to be slicing because they're little razor sharp knives. You know what I mean? You're going to be doing that. I'm doing it before they're doing the finalized. So like, you know what I mean? Once I'm out, the wires are up. They're going to and it's noisy. You're not sneaking up on anybody. You ain't sneaking up on anybody.
It literally sounds like you're tap dancing on aluminum cans sometimes. It's just like you're not sneaking up on anybody. But now, you're like, yeah. Well, I wonder what that is. It could be a squirrel. And it's like, no.
I could see there's great big, like in big, huge skyscrapers. Like I'm in like a 3-story public school, so they're not that big. Mm-hmm. But in big skyscrapers, there's huge ones that you could stand up and walk around. You know what I mean? Those I could see, but the side ducks, you're gonna die. You are literally you're gonna slice up your arms. People are gonna be like, "Why is there blood coming out of the ceiling?" But hate to ruin Die Hard for you, but that ain't gonna happen. We got a question over here. What Geeks Do, who also made my opening music. John, I don't know if you talked about it, but I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No, I did not like it. I freaking loved it. I absolutely loved it to the point I'll say it's probably the best superhero movie. The original one came out in 1990. They put it back into the movie theaters for what is it, 40th anniversary. And I liked the comic so much. I was telling my wife, and then we went to go see Superman or the Fantastic Four, and they did a preview for it. And my wife goes, "Oh my God, I haven't seen that since I was 18. You want to see it?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm reading the comics. I cannot believe how good the original comics are."
Oh,
so she bought the tickets on her phone while we were sitting there. And, we went to the movies. I freaking loved it. Tonic Mall and I did a gin and tonic. That's going to be our series where we talk about movies about it. We talked about an hour and a half about how good that movie was. And then, of course, we went and got pizza afterwards, my wife and I, when we go to movies, we make a date night out of it. I really, really, really liked it. Showing your stacks is good. It sparks conversations from the covers alone. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do two birds with one stone. I wanted to sort comics that I need to do, and I wanted to keep my channel active and talk to people. I'm a very social person, in case you couldn't tell. So this schedule is driving me crazy because I wake up, now, well,
John is a robot. Yeah, he's gonna throw this computer out the window. He's gonna teach this computer how to fly. It's gonna happen. But yeah, no, I agree. I love showing comics. Like, 1 second, I'll just turn around, reach, grab a stack while John's frozen. Oh, look, what do we have here? Random stack of stuff. I don't even know what I pulled. Johnny Quest. One of my favorite covers ever. Femme Fatale cover. Awesome. Oh, just hanging out with the boys. Just chilling. One of the best ones ever. Yeah. It just bit the dust. Fuck it. Let's see here. Shredder was I like what they did with Shredder in that movie. I thought it was pretty well done. What I liked about the TMNT first movie is it didn't take itself too seriously, but knew when to not be silly. The rest of them just went full bore silly. It wasn't for me. After that, the first one was perfect. Second one was okay, and then diminishing returns thereafter. Well, dirty old fatty, I think it's going to be about 5 minutes before he gets that message, and it's probably going to be too late for the laptop. Probably. Well, John said it was okay. Does anybody want to see a preview page, splash page, or something coming up? One of the books in a couple of years? Maybe. Let me know. Actually, I think that would be cool. A Johnny Quest Wolverine crossover with what's his name? His bodyguard, Reese. Yeah, Reese. I think that's his bodyguard's name. That would be awesome. Okay, so you guys can still hear me. Here you guys go. If you guys ever really want to learn about like some of the Russian superheroes in Marvel, and some of these characters, I'm pretty sure if you play Marvel Rivals, will be making an appearance probably. And I reread this book, and I absolutely love it. And I read the prequel to it too. Get a chance, read this. It's a pretty awesome book. It is a kind of a soft sequel to Armor Wars. And if you haven't read Armor Wars, I don't know how you call yourself a fan. You need to read Armor Wars. The first one, the best one, clearly. Yeah, you know what? I would like to see a Wolverine Johnny Quest crossover. How about a Space Ghost Guardians of the Galaxy crossover? Oh, okay. So yeah, Race Bannon. Yeah, great character. Oh, speaking of Space Ghost, if you guys haven't got a chance yet, try to remember who the publisher is. I think it's Dynamite. Dynamite had a series. They just relaunched the #1. I don't know why they did that. Issue 1 through 12 of the new Space Ghost series. Fucking phenomenal, man. Pick it up. Some of the best indie, what would you call it? It's not public domain, but it's a established character franchise. How they almost meticulously write that story for Ghost Rider. Space Ghost. Very good. Highly recommend. It's up there with like Geiger, Redcoat, and what else in that series I'm reading? Geiger, Redcoat, and there's a third one. Can't be that good if I don't remember it, right? Around the year of the Soviets. Yeah. That is, I want to say it's bronze. I want to say 92. Let's take a look. Oh my God. 92, baby. 92. I said it on the money. The old brain still works 100%. He's all, what year was this book read? And I'm like, I think like 92. I picked it up. 92 at the bottom. Yes.
What book is that?
It's the prequel to Armor Wars, the Soviet Super Soldiers.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I was telling them if you ever want to learn about
I
the
just
Russian-
saw something. My whole computer crashed, and I stayed live. That's dangerous to know. Like I could be
No,
like picking
you
my
weren't
nose
live.
or something like that, and not
was
realize I'm
live.
still live.
Yeah, your computer was completely gone. It was me
So
solo.
where was I? We talked.
You were safe if you said any bad words. Is John doing My Heavens to Murgatroyd?
No, I don't know if I'm live or not.
You're live, brother. We're here.
Shredder was a compelling villain in the movie, offered power structure to the dissatisfied. Yeah. What it's funny because we still don't know what Shredder's plan was. You know, was he gonna take over the world, just make money? You know, didn't matter.
Mm-mm.
Just don't destroy the laptop, just get a better one. Well, apparently now my regular computer is a piece of crap. I'm starting. I don't know. I've had no problem with my internet for like 3 years, and now all of a sudden, like my phone is super slow. The internet, but it's like my phone all of a sudden is super slow at home, at work. It's like planned all.
John, what it could be is actually anything big getting attached to the node you're attached to. So if they opened up a new building or whatever that's attached to that node that you're traveling through, that your internet's traveling through, it will bog you down until they can split that node into smaller groups. They're overloading that node. That could be one of the many things. I
don't know. I got to ask my wife. She's having problems upstairs, but this is driving me crazy. So what were we talking about? We were talking about
we were talking about comic books, just looking at covers and just enjoying the conversation of remembering good times and looking at these books.
Anybody read Atomic Robo?
I have not.
This is such like a comic that went under everybody's radar. I highly recommend this comic. Oscar recommended Battle Gods to me. Now this is Red 5 is the company. This is Dark Horse comic. The guy went from this comic and then he took over Thunderbolts when Thunderbolts became a Fight Club ripoff.
No.
Yeah, but the art was really good. I mean, they should have just made a Fight Club comic book, but the Thunderbolts so drastically was a bad move.
Did you ever read a limited series called, I think it was just called Death Battle? So the creator couldn't obviously get the rights to all these Marvel DC characters. He created his own. And it's a story where all these villains and supervillains, all their minds are wiped. They have no idea why they're there. All they know is they have to fight to the death to save everything they absolutely love. And it's not until after their combat does all the information come into them. So they don't know if they're killing family members, old loved ones, ex-lovers.
Oh, wow.
Until after the combat's over, and then all their memories come. And
what company was this?
I don't remember. It was called like Death Battle or Death Royal or something like that. I read it about, I want to say almost 20 years ago. I think it was.
Send me a link to it. That sounds interesting.
I'll try to find it. That's why I was wondering if you read it, because if so, I was trying to find it too. Let's see here. It's an interesting take. I liked it a lot. I just like the idea of you don't know who you're fighting until after. Like, what I like about that concept is like when Thor fights Iron Man, Wolverine, all these people, they're like, oh, you could fight him and defeat him. I'm like, yeah, but if Thor, these are Thor's friends. He's not going to go off. If Thor sees a Dark Giant in their place, they're dead. Iron Man stands no chance. And John Wint disappeared again. Death Battle comic. And he's back.
I'm ready to just smash everything.
Mustafa. Yeah, I hate it when my computer just tries to fuck with me constantly. All right, let's see if we can find that.
I'm annoyed because I wanted to get something done. I wanted to organize these comics. Hey, what else? Do you have your own YouTube channel?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done much with it. I did a review of Richard's book. Sometimes I'll do
Which
like
book is that?
Blood and the Sword.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Richard Embry.
Yeah, I did a review on that. I did some critiquing. Generally, I liked what he was doing. I'm like, this is pretty good. With his style of writing, I think he should be a little bit more. That's what I'm looking for. A little bit more periodical. Like the first 2 books, it seemed like they were back to back, and then nothing about a book 3 or anything, and he did something else. This is a series, and each book is part 1, part 2, part 3. You need to give us a map to follow where we're going to go in the future a little bit with this storyline, if he wants to draw people's attention to it. Because right now you're just issue 2. What's coming up next? No idea. No hint of anything coming in the future.
That's one of my big problems with that's one of my big problems with the indie comic scene. Is if you have a continued story, you gotta strike while the iron is hot and put out a follow-up,
especially when there's a following. I mean, Richard didn't have a big following, right? And I think the same people will come back for 3 and 4, but I think it's a much broader net to catch more fans to release it within a good time period after 2. Don't wait 5 years, but within a timely period, like every year. It's only a 20-page book, once a year. You can write 2 of those a year with was it Blood and the Sword and something Talon, his gunslinger book, vampire book.
Yeah, Talon Heights or something like that.
Yeah, and that might even be a one-shot. None of us know yet.
But I agree. If it's a continuing story, you got to keep it. That's why I'm trying to do every comic is a standalone comic.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So every issue you could read it. It's a beginning, middle, end of the story.
Yeah.
And if you pick up the next issue, it'll pick up where it left off. But it's
it's within itself its own story.
It's within itself. So if, like you said, if it's episodic or to be continued,
mm-hmm.
I think you're doing yourself a disservice by doing another comic in the. And also, like Richard C. Meyer, he did Jawbreakers, and everybody was frothing at the mouth for Jawbreakers. Then he followed it up for like 5 years with stuff nobody cared, remembered, or whatever. Like you got to. That's why I'm trying to do keep the Patriarch going, and I'm working with other artists so I can get faster. And Renzo is done with a lot of his other commitments, so he was working with like 6 people the whole time he was working with me. You know what I mean? So
that's good. I mean, he's staying busy, which is always good because a body in motion has a tendency to stay in motion.
Right.
He's doing what he loves. Clearly, if you look at his work, say like you're saying you're like 6 on his totem pole of work that he's doing.
Right.
The work he's giving you.
We're working pretty good. Like a couple of people.
I mean, he does really good work, and I like what he does. So I'm happy that he has 7 jobs lined up. I think that's a great thing for an artist to have a bad problem with. I have too many jobs. Every artist on the planet's like me. I wish I had that problem.
everything just froze again. I just feel like just shutting everything off and never YouTubing again. This is just so frustrating. I get
literally nobody to talk to, John.
I think I just got to do pre-recorded videos. This is, I am getting so fed up. Try not to be Serenity now. But as soon as we start talking and I get into the conversation, the computer just whatever. And of course, this doesn't happen. I don't know. Did it happen this morning when I didn't have a guest? I don't know. By the way, John, if you ever feel like you've done a subpar episode, all you have to do is show me Excalibur, and I'll be happy. Oh, good. I didn't realize it was that easy. There you go, Excalibur. I'm the legal king of England. I gotta go chase out the Muslims.
I thought he was talking about the Excalibur comic book. Like if you ever do a subpar episode in your comic book, you always hold up the Excalibur comic. Goes, it's at least better than this.
Yeah.
It works both ways.
So, what was I gonna say? Is it better to make self-contained comics or continuing books? The way I look at it, if you could make like if you're like a one-man team, like a Brian Bow, or Pete Sametti, like he has like 3 or 4 rotating guys. So when he does a campaign, he'll release like 4 comics at once. He could do continuing stories. Brian Bow could do continuing stories. He's pretty consistent, pretty fast. Tonic Mole is doing a long epic story. I think it's going to be like 24 comics, and he's one guy. He works at his own pace. He's pretty regular. He doesn't have to depend on anybody else. So yeah, it can be done. Now there's other people, and we all know who I'm talking about. There's 5 years between issues. And I was, whenever I mention that, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm mentioning like to be constructive. Just imagine like a TV show that there's 5 years between seasons. It's going to bleed viewers. I like the comic. I genuinely like the comic, and I don't remember, and I don't care anymore.
It's just a lack of professionalism.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if you could put out periodically, consistently, and 2 or 3 times a year, yeah, make a continuing story. Why not? But I can't do that. I would like to do that, but I can't. So I feel it is the best use of my time and to be respectful of the people that support me, to give them a complete story. At the very least, you're satisfied with, okay, that was a beginning, that was a middle, that was an end, that's a story, because I've gotten so many crowdfunded comics that are never going to end. Let's be, the people didn't make enough money, people disappeared, they lost interest, or whatever. So I'm like 40, 50 bucks into a story that's never going to end, and I also feel like $25 an issue for a 30 page or 30 issue story. No story is worth $300. You know what I mean? Even The Watchmen, it was one of the greatest comics of all time. Like when I bought it, it was $1.50 an issue, 12 issues. Yeah, it was even that. It was like $40. Geez. But, It came out the last issue took 11 months. We kind of, the last issue took a long time. But,
John, speaking of which,
you gotta. So to answer your question, who asked that? Is that Logic's Finest? I'm so mad that
was PBE 777.
Yeah, so I for my schedule, and I think most crowdfunded people, I think it's best to do.
It makes sense. I mean, it really does. I saw the other day a Kickstarter for a digital comic book, and it was $30 for a digital comic book. I laughed a little bit. I laughed a lot of it, actually.
Yeah.
Especially with the person that did it, I was like, "What?"
$30 for a digital comic? You can't do that. No.
I think it was 22 pages or some shit like that too. I was like,
really?
It's pure con. It's a certain member of a certain group that we know. So when I saw that go up, I was just like,
$30 for a 20-page digital comic.
I think it's about 22 pages when I saw it. I was like, that is just straight up con job, man. I'm glad they're doing work. Don't get me wrong. That's what I half the time when I argue. I was like, dude, just shut the fuck up and do some work. You'll be a much happier person. Stop complaining. Just do work. And I'm glad they're doing work. A lot of them are doing work, and they have some good guys over there doing some good work. They're just, I don't know. They're just on a different planet than the rest of us, a different reality. And I saw the work that this one person's doing. I'm like, it's good for their style, right? I'm not going to knock their style, even though it's sometimes he borrows a little too much for my taste. But when I saw a $28, $28.95 price tag on a digital copy of a 22-page book, that's just pure, you're conning people at that point in time. It's bad.
Yeah.
What's the Cryptic King model?
Yeah, I
Or
don't
King
know.
Cryptic.
I didn't want to do digital because I'm an old fart. But the way shipping, I just saw. What's that? I saw Dave Brink. He was being interviewed today, and he says that he can't ship to the United States. Their country just stopped shipping because of tariffs. So, because of that, I'm glad that I do digital because I still have an access of reaching people. I don't know. Things are crazy right now. I hope all this trade war stuff ends and we can get back to just mailing comics to our neighbors across the sea. I mean, Canada, it's ridiculous. When I'm like, yeah, I got a backyard, I'm like, oh God, it's in Canada. It costs almost $20 to ship to Canada.
That's ridiculous. That is just so ridiculous.
Oh, am I frozen? Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. Are we frozen? I think we're frozen. Yeah, we're frozen.
Are you? Your screen is frozen, so I didn't know I was frozen.
Chat, who's frozen? Me or John?
Okay.
I'm fine. Okay, John, it's you.
Okay. Good. Take over the show. Nobody's frozen. Okay. Student of God says nobody's frozen. Okay, we're both good. All right, good. So I'm just going to keep talking. Your screen is frozen to me, but it must be something on my side. All right. So, what do you want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about?
Who won the Wizard Duel? I wasn't making that one.
Give us some topics. Say some stuff. Questions and answers. Let's get to. I'm in a real bad mood. I'm in a pissy mood.
Oh, I am completely out. No. Yeah, let me get out and come back in. Let's try this.
Ex-wives a topic. I only have one wife. I got married once. Still married. Still happy.
Oh,
I don't want to. No, I'm happy. I don't need to bitch about ex. I could bitch about ex-girlfriends. I'm gonna kick you out, and you're gonna come back in. Okay. All right, I kicked out Arkham. See if he comes back, because he was frozen, and I don't know if it was him. But come back, Arkham. Come back. And if anybody wants to come in and be frustrated the way I'm being frustrated by bad internet, come on in. Oh, you want to talk about the? Oh, that is the ex-wives. That's a Marvel comic, ex-wives. Okay.
better.
Want to talk about the supposed alien ship coming? Yeah, at this point, I welcome our alien overlords. Take over. Whatever.
This is what I say about it. We lost any option about those aliens coming back in 1973 when we launched a fucking giant golden disc into space, giving a fucking giant menu to the galaxy going, ding, 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 we're idiots, come serve us. That's
Jack Kirby was pissed about that too. He was like,
yeah, like, you don't know what the fuck's out there, you fucking morons.
watch.
Sorry. When you don't know what's out there, why? I mean, just going into the jungle alone being loud is a stupid mistake. Why would you do that in this God unknown galaxy that we have?
And it gave them a map to where we are too.
Exactly. And our genetic coding, everything. They just gave it to everybody. I was just like,
I don't know. I will say this. The men are going to be horrifying and the women are going to be sexy because that's the way alien women are. So, we're going to have some blue, sexy, green, sexy women with beehive haircuts. And, that's because that's the way aliens always are in comics. Cthulhu doesn't come knocking. He doesn't need a spaceship. He just shows up. I don't mind that I do alien will be giant insectoids. Who knows? You know what's funny? Is once they were like, oh, there's an artificial thing in the solar system, I was like, it's all crap. As soon as the government says that it's a spaceship, I immediately don't believe it. Like, that's how much I distrust the government.
Yeah, you're right on that one.
Space dimorphism. Yeah. Geez. So Arkham.
Yes.
How many? I forget how many pages are in that story. It's like 13, 14 pages to the story that I sent you.
It was originally 12 pages.
Yeah, and we could, there's a couple of pages we could expand. We could probably make it 20 pages.
Do we want the double splash?
Let's do one, do one page at a time. Like start at the beginning. And then we'll go over the script and we could expand it out, because I'm always thinking about cost per page, things like that. I cut out stuff because I'm like, okay, why am I paying for this page when it really doesn't when it doesn't help the story?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the Twilight episode where Superman was a cookbook, aliens take. Yeah, that's one of the greatest episodes of anything. It's in all science fiction. I agree. I guess you agree. You don't trust the government. So we'll finish the first page, and then we'll work on, because this is what I've learned. It works best with me. We'll do one page, finish it. I'll get Oscar to color it, so we'll have a complete page that we can look at, and then do the two main characters as trading cards.
Okay.
We know what the two main characters are going to look like. Okay, no, that's not right. That's right. That's perfect. And then we'll continue with the story.
What did you think of the one that I sent you?
I'm sorry?
What did you think about the one that I sent you?
It looked good. It looked good. Yeah, yeah.
Do you like? So you notice where I changed the lower section, kind of from the original sketch to more of a easier to draw in combat clothes for him.
Yeah, he looks like a barbarian. Yeah.
As long as that's what you had in your head.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Do you want him bigger? Do you want him? Because I made him big, but still kind of lean.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. He's like a Greek hero.
Right.
He's got the helmet. He's got the golden fleece. He's got the spear. Like right off a Greek vase or something like that. And then she's going to be tall, sexy, sleek. She's more ethereal and fairy tale, and he's more. Yeah. I have an extra copy of The Great War of Separation too. Yeah, sure. If you want to mail it to me, sure. I would never ask anybody for anything. I'm real uncomfortable when people mail me stuff. Like, it's funny because like when people super chat, I'm always like, that's why. How can people just live on super chats? It's just so skeevy. The Earthman will be.
What's that? I was gonna say there's guys that just earn it, that just like the G&G guys, because just the way they riff, right? You're almost like paying $5 just to listen to these guys. Just
right, yeah. It's all like PBS.
Yeah. So that's like you can pay $5 and antagonize and stuff like that, but when it's like certain people that do it and they e-bag and I'm not going to do this unless you guys pay me, kind of stuff online. I was like, the money they give you is just saying, hey, you're kind of cool. Here's some extra bucks. It's not to like try to blackmail your audience with. You know what I mean? Don't do.
A couple of people have been emailing me.
been emailing you?
Every time I talk, it just starts freezing up and everything. I'm ready to just punch the screen and quit.
John, let's do this. Kick me out, or I'll leave, and let's see if you'll continue, or if it starts freezing again.
Okay.
And then we'll see if it's just because having two people in the chat.
Well, it shouldn't.
I know it shouldn't, but let's try anything at this point. All right. I'm gonna take off and let's see how it goes. I'm gonna go watch you in on YouTube and see if you start stuttering.
Okay. I don't even want to talk anymore. I'll DM you, no problem at all. Rip Reverse sent me a duplicated order on accident and didn't want it back. Yeah, Graham Nolan sent me 2 copies of Monster Island. You don't freeze on our end. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm getting like really freaking annoyed. So I look very clear. Yeah. All right. Because all of a sudden it was like everything just sounded like a robot. So I don't know what's going on. So what do you want to talk about? This isn't what I wanted to talk about. So far, so good. Yeah, if you want to come back, come back. Because I would prefer to talk with other people than to look at my face. Pull out some covers before the night's end. Here's the link if anybody, if Arkham, if you want to come back. Here's Anya. I read this. Really good story. Again, anything Hellboy related is so good. This was a 4-issue series. Panya was a mummy that Hellboy and the BPRD discovered. And there she is. That's what she looks like now. And you don't know anything about her past. And this is her story. And it's really good. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. You know, the which one was it? The Queen of the Dam story, like the fake history. I love Anne Rice's fake history. It's so good. I love like the Silmarillion, the Memnoch the Devil, and the Queen of the Damned are my 2 favorite of the Anne Rice books, where they just go into the ancient world and describe all of this stuff. There's a Michael Mignola documentary. I didn't see it. Send me a DM with that. I want to check it out. I watched Superman movie the other day on my VR headset. The new Superman movie. Arkham, did you see the new Superman?
I have not. I'm waiting on all of it. I've kind of just stopped watching all new superhero anything really. Like Star Wars. I haven't watched Star Wars since. Holy shit! I think what was the last movie? Return of the Sith Jedi bullshit, whatever. I watched 2 minutes of it where it was just go, and I'm like, this is horrible. And I just turned it off.
Well, Star Wars, I watched, what was it called? The first of the sequels where they introduced Rey, and I hate it. And I absolutely hate it. And I remember telling my friends, I was like, this just sucked. And they told me how wrong I was. I was like, all right. You know,
it was literally New Hope 2.0.
Right. It was. I said, I've seen this whole movie before. You know, I've seen it, and then I saw the second one, and I said, I'm done. And I never saw the third one, and I never watched a second of Star Wars. Is done. They killed it.
Yeah, the third one.
And you know who I blame?
Who?
I blame all you people watching Star Wars, talking about it, complaining about it. Just turn it off. You know, just that's the point that I'm like.
I rewatched Empire last night. Right on surround sound, lights off, the whole thing. Back 1982, right? I'm sitting there, this little kid, watching it outside of reality. I'm there with them. None of that prequel stuff is in my head. None of the sequel stuff is in my head. None of the TV shows are in my head because I don't watch them and I don't listen to them, and none of that. Just these 3 movies. And
there's 3 Star Wars movies, and the number of the movies being reached is 3. That's it. You know, the sequels stunk, the prequels were terrible, and that's it. There's 3 Star Wars movies, and I tell you, even at the end of Return of the Jedi, I was getting a little annoyed with Star Wars because it's obvious that there was no master plan and he was just making it up as he went along.
Yeah, and then you could feel the Spielberg influence in Return of the Jedi a little too much. That was my problem with it. It was like
Eric, Andor may be good, but I don't want to watch it. I'm at the point now. I'm done with things. Like, hate to say it, but like, there's a certain faction in comic books. I'm done with them. I don't talk about them. I don't want to reference them. I don't look at it on Twitter. Like, student of God, you're just giving these guys what they want. Reaction. Don't give them reaction. That's all they are. They are a reaction to other things because they don't have anything original to offer. Stop giving them things to offer. Let them die. Just, they're forming their own bubble. Let their bubbles completely separate, float away, and pop. But right now, we're just giving them oxygen into that bubble. Let them go. That's the most I'm talking about them. But Star Wars, Superman, I like the Superman. Eric the Guapo is 100% true. The new Superman movie was watching an episode. It was taking a 90s Justice League International comic and throwing it on the screen. Was it good? Okay. There are flaws, a lot of flaws. It was better than Man of Steel. Man of Steel movies, the Snyder films, fundamentally forgot that Superman is a child character. It's a character that is supposed to be on underwear, lunchboxes, action figures. It's supposed to be for little kids. Now, Superman works best when it's all ages, not when it's dark, moody, and whatever Zack Snyder was doing. I know a bunch of people get mad at me when I say that, but Superman, Batman, and oh my God, when I say Batman is a character that's supposed to be on lunchboxes, people go berserk. Batman the Animated Series, to me, is the best iteration of Batman, hands down. And
the DCU is kind of like the best iteration of almost every character.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said. I got nervous. I thought you were going to disagree with me. Well, actually, no. The DCU,
it's right from the best writing. I love it.
And that's what I'm trying to do. Am I successful? No, not yet. I hope so. Like the story you're working on, would you say it's all ages?
Mm-hmm. And I'm drawing it for all ages.
Right. Is
this? Like, I want to move this to see something, but you can't.
Right. Now, is there sexiness in it?
There is sexiness in it.
Yeah. Is there horror in it?
There is horror in it.
Right. Is there blood and guts?
No.
Oh, there could be blood and guts, but like it doesn't have to be. But they're stabbing monsters. You know
right. What I mean? When I say blood and guts, I mean my kind of blood and guts. Like, yeah.
We're not talking cannibal corpses and stuff like that. But there's fantasy horror in that comic book, and I think it's all ages. Now I'm working on a Santa Claus story, and ironically, my Santa Claus story is going to be there's going to be nudity in it because there's certain things that happened that historically happened.
It brings new meaning to Jingle All the Way.
But it's not. But so it's. But the thing is, like, somebody asked me, "Is it all ages?" And my response was, "Is the Bible all ages?"
Yeah.
But is there horror? Is there gore? Is there nudity? Is there adultery? Is there prostitution? Is there torture?
Is there everything that's possibly bad that man does in that book? Yes.
So my Santa Claus story, I want to have some verisimilitude. Yeah. I want to stick to the autobiography, or not autobiography. I want to stick to the biography of Saint Nicholas. If you read the stories of Saint Nicholas, there is horror, there is torture, there is bad stuff in that story, and then I'm mixing it with Odin escaping Ragnarok. So, but it's not going to be gratuitous, and it's going to be I think it's going to be all ages. But then maybe I'm a little bit more permissive than most. I grew up with. I tapped out of Star Wars after the sequel. Me too. I'm done. Paul Dini should be writing comics. Is he still alive? I have memories of him dying. Am I wrong? I hope not. I really like him. I love how Superman fought several villains, never gave up, and even when he was faced with his pants recording, Pa Kent encouraged him, and Superman was continuing to be good. Yes, I really like that. It showed that Superman is making his own decisions. He is his own person. He is his own agency. He's not programmed. But I still also hold out hope that Lex Luthor is messing with those tapes. We still never, you know what I mean? Like I'm still holding out that we're gonna find out that Lex Luthor tampered with him in some ways. That, well, you know, that's what I'm thinking. Nudity is not all ages. I know. I mean, then I guess don't read the Bible. You know, that's all I got to say. And you'll see. Poor St. Nicholas, what they did to him. They threw him in jail. They threw him in jail. That's all I'm going to say. They threw him in an oubliette, naked. You know, so, you know, there'll be shadows and everything like that. But poor St. Nicholas, I'm not going to change the story of what they did. They ripped his freaking fingernails off. You know, I don't want to shy away from that. You know, like tell them the story of Jesus and not showing like him being flayed by a cat of nine tails, stuff like that is a disservice to the story. So that's what I'm talking about. One thing I love the Superman is he tried to spare the life of a giant monster, the Justice Man. Yeah, and I did like that too. The movie was severely flawed. But I will go as far as saying that the Donner film was severely flawed. But the Donner film was exactly what it needed to be to show the average normie that comic book movies could be taken real, and it could be. It's a work of art. It's American cinema, and it was exactly what was needed at the time. But
I would say the Donner film is where it lacks in a lot of its superhero-ness. It makes up 100%. It gets the heart of Superman. Right. And that's what I love about that film. Is like, even though it's not me, the buff, I want to see cool battles, but when I see that film, it's like, this is Superman. You know what I mean? I just got to put on a little bit more rose-colored glasses to see it, but that is 100% Superman. You know, just give Chris Evers a little bit bigger muscles and a villain to fight, it would have been a better movie. I still love it. Are you frozen, John? Is John frozen, or is it just me? Chat.
Loved how James Gunn added an orgy scene to Peacemaker, which he claims I didn't see Peacemaker. You know, I watched Superman because I'm a Superman fan, but to tell you the truth, DC has been dropping the balls on all its movies. So Peacekeeper looks goofy and stupid to me.
It
so
is. It's very.
I used to be a big James
fan too.
Good. Paul D, I don't know why I thought he was dead. Good. That's good news. So why aren't they hiring him to make more comic? I'm back. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I'm ready to smash everything. I'm ready to destroy everything. Go full on Godzilla. Text could describe things happening in historical way without being immersed. That's to tell that show a comics and movie often show. Yeah, I agree. I'm working on a story that is very suggestive. Let's just say it's set in the Weimar Republic. Aleister Crowley makes an appearance, and some other historical characters make an appearance. And I could very easily make it mature only, not safe for work. And I'm really trying to keep it all ages. But the subject matter is going to be very suggestive. Matter of fact, I reached out to the artist and asked him if he minded that this was the subject matter, and he said, "No, that's fine, provided you do it the way you're telling me to do it." So it's going to be very dark, very sinister, but I would like to You know, I don't know. I think in the indie comics, it's just very easy, very tempted to just go full nudity and porn and stuff like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want it to be superhero comics, but I want this story to be very dark. But I don't think I'm going to go that far. But
I do kind of like how the Japanese look at more risque comic books, you know, back in the day, hentai, whatever they would want to call it. There's a lot of top tier mangaka that's where they cut their teeth, you know, because they wanted to make sure that they can, even if it's just smut, that they could push out a monthly release, you know, by drawing that crap. And eventually they turn into these amazing artists. Like one of them is a guy named, oh my God, he does One Punch Man, Murata. Murata's art, from where he started, he was doing just pure adult stuff. And he's one of the best superhero comic book, whether American or manga, superhero comic book artists. His art in One Punch, his perspective shots of these punches and the way he does combat. And he started on TNA. I'm like, good job, dude.
see, suggested nudity is fine. Yeah, I have suggested nudity in Heroic Tales #2. You know, the wife is in the shower, but like you don't really see anything. The comic that Arkham is drawing, they literally are walking around for like 6 pages naked, but you don't see anything because they're in a dark cave, you know. So yeah,
Shadow play with ink.
I don't know what you sent me a message. I don't know.
It's no big deal.
Okay.
It's just something I thought you said earlier, and I just misunderstood. That's all.
I used to dabble in the deck of thought. Not a good idea. Yeah. Believe me, Mr. Crawley's not the good guy in this story. He's one of the bad guys in the story. But I got, and this story that I'm working on now is tied into the story that Arkham's writing now because it does involve the Greek gods. So, spoiler alert. Dionysus, like I was just like, Dionysus is the god of revelry, instant gratification, you know, mysteries and wine and everything. And his worshippers were the Maenads who literally ripped people apart. This is not a good guy. So I was just thinking, like, what if Dionysus just travels throughout the world, or wherever he goes, there's just chaos and it's like destruction of you know, and he's also a god of theater. So I was like, it would be perfect for him to be in the Weimar Republic. There was a lot of art. There was a lot of philosophy. A lot of science came out of it, you know, but there was a lot of debauchery, chaos, and let's just say unseemly things. To me, that would be a perfect place. So that was the germ of this story. Dionysus is in the Weimar Republic, you know, and that's the basis of this story.
I like that
So,
Dionysus is like the complete opposite of Slender.
Is it true Marvel is making another X-Men movie? I think so. Why wouldn't they? That, you know,
It's not going to be
an MCU X-Men movie. I
Sorry, John. Go ahead. Am I frozen?
I just didn't understand the word you said. It just sounded like Charlie Brown's father was talking. What did you say?
I absolutely forgot because I was laughing so hard because just like both of us just stopped. We're like, who's frozen?
Right. Yeah. Eric's heading out. Everyone have a great evening, a great week. Yeah. I agree. Creative placement can work wonders. What was everybody saying? All right. I think I'm all caught up. John was frozen by the ghost of Richard Donner. Yeah, back to the Donner film. Like, even as a kid, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, so Superman can time travel? So why does anybody die?
Yeah, that's the biggest flaw of that film is the time travel thing.
Right.
If you could edit that out, it would be a perfect movie, in my opinion.
Right. And then think about it. He time travels, he goes back in time, saves Lois, and then beats up a guy who doesn't know why he's getting beat up. Right? Because that didn't happen.
It's almost like the Wonder Woman having sex with a guy that's not in his own body.
Right. I didn't see that movie.
Just like, what are you doing? Come on.
But when it comes to time travel, like I love Superman, but the problem with Superman is he's Superman. Like,
well, and then they make up shit on the fly with him.
well,
Constantly.
like to me, Superman is supposed to be the most powerful superhero. If he's not the most powerful superhero, then he's not Superman. Superman can beat anybody. But the thing is, we trust him because he's innately good. He's intrinsically good. He does not do the wrong thing. You know what I mean? That's why we love him. That's why we trust him. So any movie where they mistrust Superman is flawed. Now, the Donner film, he shows up and people are like, wow, that's a bad outfit. Who's got me? Yeah, I like that. Superman shows up out of the blue and everybody wants to know about him and they love him and they trust him. That was perfect. That I really liked. Now, this Man of Steel movie fundamentally got Superman wrong. Like, they didn't trust him. They were going to arrest him. And now this movie split the difference. You know, the newest movie. So it was flawed. I'm not happy with any Superman movie. You know, the Donner film being the closest. But the Donner film, this time travel messed it up for me because that just creates this philosophical problem. This is Superman. He's pure good. He can time travel. Why does anything bad happen? He's not God. God, I understand, pulls back and lets humanity have their agency. But I'm Superman. I'm not God. You know what I mean? I'm the guy who rescues cats out of the trees. I'm the guy that, you know, I see somebody about to get hit by a car, I swoop in and save them. Do I get to pick and choose now? I'm not going to save that person because that's what he's doing with time travel.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with that. Like, that Superman, like, why does he sleep? He doesn't need to sleep. He doesn't eat. Why does he have a secret identity? That's all selfish because he doesn't need to do any of that. You know what I mean? Like, he could literally hear around the world. He should be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, saving people because there's always somebody in need of saving. For Superman to sit down and have dinner with Lois Lane is selfish because does he turn off his senses? Like, you know, for the next hour, people are going to die. You know what I mean? Like, that should bother him. So to me, Superman has to be limited.
Oh, yeah.
In order, you know what I mean? And that's why I gave the Patriarch a limited scope of powers. For him to use his senses makes him vulnerable. For him to use his powers tires him out. He needs to rest because if he doesn't, he can't use his powers. Like Superman, you know, I'm going to go watch a movie. So he's sitting there watching Scooby-Doo and he knows people are dying. You know what I mean? That, to me, that's the problem with Superman.
Well, that's kind of what a lot of people have the problem with the end of Endgame, with the same situation with Captain America, Steve Rogers. But in my defense of that particular choice is, even though Steve has to sit there and not do anything about potentially millions of people dying, right, here on Earth, he has to watch Vietnam, he has to watch all these things go down and not interfere. Because the way they describe time travel, as soon as he does so, will break off a new time stream. So when people go like, why would Tony not, or why would Steve not, you know, stop Vietnam? Because if he does some, now he can affect the future of that timeline in a different way. If he does nothing, he knows that the inevitability of their victory is still at hand as long as he doesn't do anything. And I love the fact that for once in his life, at the end of it, he's like, I'm going to be selfish. And he goes back and lives the rest of his life with not Katie, what's her name? His girlfriend from World War II. Huh?
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter. I didn't have a problem with that. I was like, you know what? He deserves that because he knows there's nothing he could do. Because as soon as he changes time, he's going to fuck everything up. So he's like, this is my reward because everything has already been saved. You know what I mean?
I do have I have a fundamental problem with that movie. They have a time machine.
Yeah. Time, again, is like the destruction of sci-fi.
Right. They have a time machine, and they established in the Ant-Man movie that even that guy, Yellow Jacket, could generate Pym particles. And they went out of the way to show that that guy was an idiot. So they have an easily produced fuel source for a time machine. And Banner pinpoint accurately sent these time travelers to wherever they needed to go with no repercussions, there was no problems. He just worked on the machine. Everybody went wherever they did. Why does anybody die? Why does anything bad happen? and it generates Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Right? Because Tony Stark went and got another glove. So they have a machine that literally generates Infinity Gauntlets.
You know how we were talking about editing?
Did the writers not think of those consequences? Like anything can happen. Why didn't Tony? All right, Tony's. So they made it so that Tony Stark, it's a strain, or whatever.
Mhm.
So use the Infinity.
Again, that's the weakness of time travel. I think it's horrible once you bring time travel into your series without.
Everything's frozen. I don't know who's talking.
We'll see if chat sings. Kind of some. I know chat hasn't said anything yet. Chat, it's frozen.
So Superman doesn't get to live a normal life having dinner? Yes, absolutely. Superman he doesn't need to eat. So he's sitting there having spaghetti, and he hears the screams of people burning to death in fires and says, I choose not to save them because I want to engage in this meal that doesn't offer me anything because I get all my nutrients from the sun. I'm solar powered. I'm an alien, and I'm different, and I don't need to eat, but I want to do that. I want to watch Cops. I don't. So grandma's going to burn to death. That's the problem with Superman. According to some duty ethics, you save someone and don't, you're evil. Unfortunately, it gets stretched to support communism. John, you respect the source material. They don't. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're frozen. 3D printing Infinity Stone. Yeah, that's what they're doing with that time machine. Nobody's frozen. Oh, we're both moving. Okay, I guess it just froze on my end. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to get into a theological discussion about God, but like, why doesn't God cure cancer and stuff like that? Whatever. We all accept that God doesn't intervene, whatever. So that's a different story. But Superman is Superman. And I know RJ and I had a disagreement, RJ from the Fourth Age. Like in the Superman movie, when the little kid is praying and he's praying to Superman to come rescue him, that's just a little kid asking to be. Why? Because they already established that Superman stopped the war at the beginning. So Superman already got involved. He stopped the war. That little kid is just like, the war is going to happen. He saved us once before. He's just a little kid. Like, I don't know. Either you're all good and you want to save lives, or you pick and choose whose lives you get to save. And that's the slippery slope. Like right now, Superman would be a problem because he has this senses of everything. He has more than just speed of light eyesight. Like he has like psionic senses because he can literally hear around the world. So what? He's just like, screw the Croatians. Like he should be saving people's lives 24 hours a day. That's the problem. He's too powerful. His senses are too. They need to limit him in order to make him more sympathetic. That's the way I feel. Do I want him to be a robot? No, he needs to be a robot to live the way you think he should live. I want to have spaghetti now, so I'm going to turn off my conscience. I'm not going to be bothered by the pleas of the suffering right now because I want to watch Scooby-Doo. If he is intrinsically good, anytime he hears suffering, he's going to stop it. Otherwise, he's not Superman. And that's what they need to do. They need, like, I'm going to be a reporter, and I'm going to work overtime so I can pay my mortgage. You don't need to live. You got a house. You live in the Fortress of Solitude. Anything that Superman has that's Clark Kent related is a distraction from saving people's lives. And that, you know what I mean? That's what Superman. I don't blame the kid, the adult. Right. But that war was created by a supervillain. Lex Luthor is the supervillain. That war is no different than Lex Luthor making a rampaging robot going down Metropolis. So Superman not stop a robot rampaging Metropolis because adults should have made better decisions. That war is a machination of Lex Luthor, a supervillain, just like a robot is a creation of Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? Just because they made it a little bit more realistic and political, Superman stops Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor in this movie was the scary real estate agent, which I absolutely hated. Sorry, Gene Hackman. And then they followed up with Kevin Spacey as the scary real estate agent. That movie was the worst. That is the worst Superman movie. It was just boring. But this movie, Lex Luthor is a political whatever. But he needs to stop Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor's scheme was to create a war. So he stops the war to stop Lex Luthor. What you're saying is no hero can be as powerful as Superman. If that's the overpower argument, heroes have to be close to normal.
Did it have Nate?
No. If Superman could be all powerful, the problem is that he's all sentient. He's omniscient. He can hear and see everything. So they need to like limit his hearing to like the speed of sound. So like, you know what I mean by like Superman literally hears around the world. Superman literally can see into space. They didn't think that out. Like, I don't mind him picking up planets and throwing planets, stuff like that. But when Superman's sitting down having spaghetti, he's literally choosing to ignore suffering and death and destruction and car crashes and everything like that. What they need to do with Superman is they need to show that he needs to rest, that he needs that he exerts himself by using these senses, like his normal default. Like Daredevil has super senses, but it's only like 500, 600 feet. So like, you know what I mean? Like if Daredevil's sitting there eating spaghetti and he hears a mugging, he jumps out and saves them. Is he being selfish by continuing the meal? No, but Superman, his range is the entire planet. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? I'd save your grandmother, but this meatball is just so good. I got to finish this meatball. You know, I right now I'm having a real good glass of wine. So you know what I mean? Like they need to establish that Superman's default setting is no senses. I need to rest. Otherwise, him choosing to, you know, do some stupid story about the dog pound that just got a grant, and now we got a news, you know, story. Somebody in the world is on fire. You know, you go save that guy. It's more important. You know what I mean? I agree with RJ that our parents being responsible for putting their kids in danger. Lex Luthor put those kids in danger. Lex Luthor, a supervillain. You know what I mean? If Dr. Doom started a war, should the Fantastic Four not fight Dr. Doom? Because Dr. Doom is, you know, the leader of a country. He's Latveria. Don't get involved. You know, Lex Luthor's a supervillain. The real person with the ability to fly in super strength spend a good part of every day saving bridge jumpers. I know. And that's the problem. That's what I tried to touch on with Regina Lopez in my comic. She literally climbs up. She goes out on buildings and waits to see the patriarch and then jumps off the building. Should he not save her? Because she's doing it to get his attention. You know what I mean? Like, she chose to jump off. She's doing it as a distraction to get the patriarch's attention. Should the patriarch just be like, you know, or any suicidal person, they're choosing to do that. Should, you know, are we interfering in their free will whenever we save any, like a fireman saves a well, you know what I mean? Like, no, a good person always saves somebody when they're in danger. If the patriarch sees Regina Lopez jumping off the building, he's going to save her. He's going to be pissed. And he told her, one of these days, I'm not going to be there. Not because I'm mad at you. He's never going to let her hit the ground. But he's not going to see her. He's not omniscient like Superman. Or he's taking care of something more important. It's like, I got to choose, you know, and she's always going to, you know what I mean? I got to choose this. But that's, if Spider-Man will always save somebody. You know, otherwise, once you're like, I'm a part-time superhero, you know, the Punisher, I could see not saving people. You know, I like how Gunn made him flawed. Superman can't be everywhere all the time. Right. He can't be. That's the problem. You know, people will die. People will suffer. If he's over here saving this person over here is going to die, and he lives with it. You know, he feels guilty about that. But when he's sitting there watching Scooby-Doo on the couch with Lois, he's choosing to let people die, and he hears them. He hears them being screaming. He hears them crying. He hears them yelling "mommy," and he chooses to ignore them because he wants to watch Scooby-Doo. Superman is extremely powerful, extremely good, but he's only above average. No, he's super smart. His main limitation is lack of knowledge. Silver Age Superman was a genius. Yeah, he can. That's one of the things that I think is a problem with Superman. His super senses. At least Silver Age Superman, which is what this gun movie is bringing up. That little kid was like, Superman save us, you know what I mean? And Superman hears him. I don't know. I think that John Byrne. One of the reasons why the John Byrne Superman I like so much is they toned him down.
It's called Man of Steel, right? John Byrne's Superman run.
I'm sorry.
John Byrne's Superman run was called Man of Steel.
I didn't understand. It broke up.
I said John Byrne's Superman run was called Man of Steel, correct?
Right. Yeah, I really like that. They made it so that Superman needed to rest. They made it so that Superman needed to eat. They made it so that Superman needed to recover. I'm sorry? Yeah, it was called the Man of Steel. Now, what should we think of politicians that notably refuse to do anything they can to reduce violent crime like in Chicago? Get rid of them. Get rid of them. I mean, look at England right now. Jeez, I'll get myself booted off YouTube. But guys, you got to. These politicians aren't. I'm a First Amendment guy. You know, I'd rather beg forgiveness than beg permission. These people need to do something about it. You know.
John, can you hear better now?
Yeah, we can hear better. But I'm being mushy mouthed on purpose because I don't want to say what I really want to say because I don't need my channel getting nuked. So, guys, beat around the bush of what I'm saying or read between the lines. So, Superman is bad for taking a few minutes to himself. Yeah. Are you know, if you are capable of saving that little girl who's wandering into the street and you're just like, you know what, I'm going to eat this meatball and not save her, you're a bad person.
I'm sorry those 5 men jumped out of that van and knocked your dad unconscious and threw you in the back, but these Legos are bomb.
Right. You know what I mean? Superman moves at the speed of light. He hears, you know, omnisciently, and he doesn't need to rest. He doesn't need to heal. He doesn't, you know, and, you know, whatever. That's why like Captain Marvel, Shazam, he exists outside of time and space in the Rock of Eternity. That needs to be explored. Like I know like that is like a little kid's property and they didn't think of it in terms of the way I'm thinking of it now, but like the Captain Marvel, he's got all of these powerful sponsors. He's got access to the wisdom of Solomon. And if you read the Bible, Solomon was a moron. Solomon was stupid. You know, he set up temples of Asherah. He was going to, the cutting the baby in half is a metaphor for what he did to Israel. He destroyed Israel. You know, he was a moron. He was a, you know, but we have the stories of him imprisoning demons and jinns and all of that. To me is the wisdom of Solomon, the magic and everything like that. So I would explore all that. And the fact that he exists outside of time and space in the Rock of Eternity, that is so, and he has the histogram where he could see all events on the globe. That is the most powerful being in all of DC. You know, he has the power of Superman, but access to all time and space. Now that is, you know, you got to come up with some good stories why he isn't just fixing all of the world's problems. It's so cool.
Well, I think that's why they try to, even in Shazam form, give him the Billy Batson mentality, so that way he does solve all the world's problems.
Right, and that's the key. There is he needs to be Billy Batson, and he needs to be on Earth as Billy Batson, because the way I would rectify Captain Marvel, Shazam, and I'm just gonna say Captain Marvel for now on. If ever on my channel I say Captain Marvel, that's what I'm talking about. Is he's an artificial construct. You know, he's not human. He's a magical homunculus or whatever. So in order for him to recover, to heal, to whatever, he needs to turn into Billy Batson, the human. So Captain Marvel, he fights, he depletes his energy. You know, think of it as a video game. He has a bar, and as he uses his powers, his bar diminishes. He needs to turn back into Billy Batson for that bar to recover. Although, you know what I mean, and that's his weakness, because otherwise he's the most powerful, and he can't recover the bar when you're outside of time and space. Time doesn't happen. You know what I mean? The chemical processes does. So he needs to be on Earth in his crummy little apartment, eating a hot dog, eating a chili dog, interacting with normal humans, healing, recovering, and then
I would like to see a writer that's good enough to handle it have a slight personality change within Captain Marvel with every aspect he's using. So say if he has to go like toe to toe with, say, Solomon Grundy, right? Just pure strength on pure strength. A little bit of Hercules comes out in him, right? That boasting arrogance comes out, and they're like, Billy? You know, and it's just like a little bit of Hercules. Say if he has to outsmart somebody, you know, say Solomon's beating the shit out of him, right? So he has to start outsmart. So a little bit more wisdom comes in, starts talking a little bit about Solomon about, you know, I have to trap the, you know, just have his personalities change a little bit with every aspect he uses of each individual god that's within him. That'd be kind of cool. Hard to tackle, but kind of cool.
Yeah. And those Greek gods, those sponsors, like Achilles, his arrogance took him out of the Trojan War for years, just watching, just you know what I mean, with the slave girl or slave boy, depending upon which source you use, Briareus. You know what I mean? They gave Briareus to Menelaus instead. They took him away from him and gave to. So he just like, I'm not fighting. I'm going home. You know, it wasn't until what's his name died that he. Why can't I think of his
his cousin? Yeah, when he donned his armor.
Yeah,
but I thought it was the slave was what they call it, a virgin. No, that's Roman. So I thought the virgins had to be female of Apollo, and that's what it was. Is she was a high priest of Apollo, and that.
It doesn't. I'm just saying that the arrogance that he's willing to watch his
absolutely
go to war because he was personally slighted, and then Zeus isn't the pillar of morality. You know, he's
not at all.
And I'm trying. And Hercules, I've been listening to audiobooks of Greek mythology because I got an hour and a half commute and an hour and a half home. So I'm in the car for a long time, especially if there's traffic, and the stories of Hercules actually like brought tears to my eyes of how intrinsically good he was, but he was an impulsive character. It's no wonder the Greeks loved him. Like one of the stories, he goes to his friend's house and his friend's wife is dead, but he doesn't know. So he's just like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, you know, we're in mourning because, you know, a woman in the village died. And he's like, oh, okay. So Hercules doesn't know that it's literally his buddy's wife that's died, and the buddy he's the king. So the queen died, and his buddy is just like, you know, I got responsibilities. So you know, here's your food, here's whatever, here's wine, whatever you want, you got. But you know, it's unseemly for me to be partaking in revelry while we're in this period of mourning. And Hercules gets drunk, and he's yelling and screaming and dancing and everything like that. And he's like telling people, dance with me. And he's like, some stranger died. Who cares? And then he grabs somebody who died. And he finds out that it's his buddy's wife, the queen. And he's just like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. Oh my God, please forgive me. I'm the worst. And what does he do? He goes into the underworld and drags her spirit out as for bad behavior, and then his buddy is horrified to see the spirit. He's just like, no, you can't do that, she's dead. Yeah, but I love that. Like he's just good and dumb and impulsive, you know. So just, you know, how do you play that? But then I would have like the wisdom of Solomon. Well, Solomon, again, like I said, was a dummy, but Solomon's big weakness was women. What did he have, like 600 concubines, and some of them made him worship Ashereth and set up temples and everything like that. So I would play up that. Like, that's why Billy Batson, Captain Marvel, was always fleeing women, because paradoxically he's attracted to women, but he knows the wisdom of Solomon is just like,
run.
You're gonna get messed up.
Did you
So-
read World War III by DC? It was a story about Black Adam and how the world government assassinated his family, trying to bring him down.
When was this?
It was right after 52.
Oh, that right after. Yeah. What?
No,
when
not the new 52. The
52 series. Yeah.
yeah. It was right after that. It was the
Yeah, I think I have.
culmination of that story. That I loved Black Adam in that story. I love that he was actually trying to become a better man. He found love again. It wasn't his kid; it was his girlfriend's brother, and he's like, "I'll raise him as my own."
Right. Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah. Then the government goes, "Oh yeah, you can't have a happy ending," because they want to use him to go to war with somebody else, so they can go to war and start this world war.
And that was ISIS, and then
When they killed ISIS, and
what did they call the boy? He had a name. He had because they ended up giving him powers too.
yeah, they both had powers.
But he was
Well,
like,
I'd say Icarus, but I don't think they were that cruel.
well, she was ISIS, and
she
I
was
think they dropped her name after the terrorist organization.
Yeah, because everybody. That's funny because I feel sorry for people that have the name ISIS now,
Right.
not knowing where it came from, and it's not this whatever crap.
Well, that show, that cartoon, Archer, they worked for ISIS, the International Spy and Intrigue Society or something like that. My brother did that when he was in high school. He walked into class why everyone was so sad. Did someone die in one of his class? Oh, man. I did something like that. I said, what is it? Who died or whatever? Something stupid like that. Someone's like, yeah, my cousin. We've all. My father tells a story where he was doing work in somebody's office, and he asked the guy, "Can you hand me that?" And the guy was like, "No." My father goes, "What are you, crippled?" So the guy's like, wheels out in his wheelchair, wheels over. It's my father. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Something like that did happen to me. As when I found out my father died, I came home and my mom and my sister and my grandmother were crying in the living room. I looked at my sister. I'm like, "What did you do now?" Literally, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That's when they told me. And I think that's why I remember it so vividly, each step. Yeah, I literally looked at my sister. I was like, "What did you do?" First words out of my mouth.
So, get into like Superman and Captain Marvel and everything like that. Like, I like superheroes that are limited.
Oh,
And I love Superman. Superman's still my favorite, but that's to me. There's a problem with Superman. Like, they need to establish limits on him. Otherwise, it's vanity and selfishness that he spends so much time in non-productive. You know what I mean? Like do like the Saints? I don't know. Like you do the Saints pick and choose who they help? You know what I mean? Right. I guess they do. I don't know. Once you get into Saints, I guess they do have a morality, but like either you're a good guy or you're not a good guy. Like I guess I have like an absolutist view of it, like an objectivist. Like Steve Ditko says, Mr. A says, like if you steal something, are you a thief? Yes. And how many times do you need to steal something before you're considered a thief? The answer is once. Once you steal something, you're a thief, and you're a thief for life. A is A, black and so. But I understand that humans are flawed. We've all stolen something. We've all acted out in anger. But like Superman is a higher standard. Like Superman can't just say, "I'm taking the day off," and that's what Heroic Tales 2 is the Patriarch starts out, "I'm taking the day off." It's literally the next day after issue 1. He got pretty beat up in issue 1. If you see the art, he's laying in bed, he's with his wife, and she's like, "Oh, good." The dialogue's going to say, "I'm going to go the kids are going to be so happy to see you. You're always around and about. And we're going to go. We're going to play Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to have a good old day with the kids, and I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to go make breakfast." And what does the Patriarch do? He turns on the TV. He sees that a sinkhole opened up and a boy fell into the sinkhole. And of course, Lucius Kane, the bad guy, the suit from issue 1, is going, "Where is the Patriarch?" Where? And of course, he's just using it because he's a villain. We know he's a villain. And Regina Lopez is just like, well, the patriarch, he doesn't have super senses in that regard. That so all we could do is implore. Maybe he'll see, and now he comes. But I had he not turned on the TV, he would have stayed home. Now, is the patriarch selfish for wanting to take the day off? No, Superman. But once he knew that there was a problem and somebody needed saving, he did it. Like, that's one of the things the patriarch does is like, I want to go home. Like in the first issue, he said, I want to go home now. I'm trying to, and then he put out his senses and he picked up something. He's like, okay, I can't go home. I got to do this. Once the hero knows there's a threat, if he chooses to avoid that threat, he's not the good guy anymore. And how many times do you choose to avoid a threat before you're not the good guy? Steve Ditko would say once. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying like the patriarch will be like, I'm not turning on my senses. I'm not turning on my senses. But like, he's a human. He's not Superman level. He needs to rest. He physically can't, like, and his senses are limited. And he also knows, like, Science City is his territory. The other cities have other superheroes. Not like, but of course, if the patriarch's laying in bed and he finds out that New York City, he's in Arizona, New York City's under threat. He's like, I guess I'm going to New York City. But it's going to take him a few hours to get there. He's not Lightspeed guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't be everywhere all at once.
Right, he can't be everywhere at once. So like he'll show up after the fact and help clean up. I find that. Plus, it's more fun to make like a guy that's limited. Like I wrote the Raven in the story called Curtains that Ron Mosicki is drawing right now. There's a guy that's bigger than him, and the Raven is a big guy. Like I picture Ray Stevens. Like Ray Stevens in his prime would play the Raven. 6'4". The guy who played the Punisher in. Everybody knows Ray Stevens. He's such a good actor. Sadly, he just passed. But just picture him at like 35 years old, buff. You know what I mean? And now he's fighting a guy that's bigger and tougher than him. That was fun. He had to do some dirty dealing to win that fight. Like I like Batman when he jumps down into the street and there's 4 guys with guns and Batman's like, whoops, I made a mistake. Like he gets out of there and gets up and then, throws a batarang, dodges over here, swings across the street, does a distraction, because if he just takes out all of them, then he's Iron Man or Superman. Like it's more fun. So I don't know. That's my thing. Like if the patriarch, like, if he doesn't know that then yeah. But once your conscience knows that somebody needs rescuing, and I could save this person, but I choose not to. That's like corruption in the soul, and and Superman, his field of responsibility is the galaxy. In the comics, they established he could see Mars, which is stupid if you ask me.
I think that's why the Adventures of Superman in the DCU did him very well. Most of his time he was spent in space, or if he was on Earth, he was generally fighting something that required a lot of his attention. And I think when you write Superman, you kind of have to, I don't know, you have to write around Superman. Right. You can't just write a story and stick Superman in it and expect it to work. It's not going to work for Superman. It can work for a lot of heroes, but it's not going to work for Superman. That's why I loved so much. I think it was called Superman Brainiac. It was a one-shot. Fantastic story. And I love the ending where I've read that one where Paul Kent has a heart attack. The art, the story, and it's like I loved how vulnerable Superman was in that story. Not because he was getting beat up or anything. It's just the fact is, Brainiac hurt him more than any being could. In that one moment. And in that moment, it was the one time Superman felt weakness that he wanted just to kill Brainiac. Just walk right in that door, just squish his head, and then the camera pans back, and he's still on the outside, just looking at him.
Is that Jerry Ordway did the art?
I don't remember, but I remember it's super hyper realistic. Very good art.
It was one of the early Adventures of Superman comics.
No. This was a standalone, I think it might have been a 4-issue limited series. That got turned into a graphic novel. No, it's not a part of any series. It's its own single story, and it was.
I don't think I know that. But there's a Brainiac story that I always bring up. I think it was written by Marv Wolfman, and it was drawn by Jerry Ordway, and it was when they redid Superman with Man of Steel, John Byrne, and then Adventures of Superman with Jerry Ordway, and I think Marv Wolfman was writing it.
Mm-hmm.
And in that story, they reintroduced Brainiac. So it's Superman meeting Brainiac for the first time in the new continuity. And this Brainiac is like a carnival barker with mental powers. So he's a goofy human with like limited Charles Xavier like abilities. And what does he do? He sends out his thoughts and he mind controls Superman. And Superman was distracted, and he, for like an hour or so, he was Superman, and he was doing, what would you do if you're Superman for an hour? Flying around, doing feats and stuff like that, and being having fun. And then Superman went nuts, used his powers and found out where he was and grabbed him, and he got to his face, and you could see the pyramids behind Superman, and then the Eiffel Tower. You could see all the, like, he was flying, and he gave him the speech, and he's just like, do you know who I am? He's like, I'm Superman. Do you know what I'm capable of? He goes, I could do almost anything I want. He goes, and you know what stops me from doing whatever I want? The will of Superman. And you almost interfered with the will of Superman and unleashed unfettered Superman. He goes, the only thing that stops a Superman is the will of Superman. And you almost broke that balance. He goes, that's not something that you should be doing. And he literally throws him into a jail cell and slams. And I always thought that was just so great to like Superman goes, I wake up in the morning and my first thought is, I could solve all the world's problems. I could take over the world. I could do this, and I could make a goodness. I could make a paradise on earth. And then I stop myself because I can't just take away the agency of human beings. He goes, and you almost took away my agency and unleashed a tyrant. I thought that was such a good story. I gotta get that. I'm sure I'm misremembering it.
The one that I was talking
Is anybody
about,
there? The chat hasn't moved in a while, and Arkham's frozen.
Am I frozen again?
Am I talking to the vapors? Somebody say something in the chat. Let me know that I'm still here. The image is frozen, but I can hear you.
Okay, as long as you can hear me. In the Brainiac story I was telling you about, it's
I'm gonna kick you, and you're gonna come back again because it seems like that.
Let's do it.
So come on back, Arkham, and anybody if they want to come in. It seems Arkham. I'm wondering if Arkham's connection is causing these problems, because when I'm like this, it seems to be fine. But anybody in the chat? Should I call it quits? Old Dirty Fatty says he's here. I've been talking for almost over 2 hours. Well, thank you. You guys saved me from being in a bad mood. Oh, I'm really clear. Okay. Arkham's back. Let's see. Cool. How you doing? All right.
Doing good.
All right, you're back. All right. So what were you were talking about Brainiac?
Oh, and I like how Superman defeated Brainiac in the story that I was telling you about. It wasn't any conventional way. It was how you have, like we were talking about Superman, he could hear everything going on the planet and stuff like that. Brainiac's kind of the same way, thoughts, you get your thoughts, his whole thing is intelligence, stuff like that. Superman takes Brainiac out of his ship and literally just grabs him and stuffs his face in the dirt or all the microbes and small animals and stuff like that. So he starts picking up and dissecting logically all these creatures all at once that he's touching now. So like starts overloading his brain and starts feeling all the bugs on him. It's really cool how a creature in isolation who's been just the center of his ship has not touched a living thing in so long that it felt alien to him for the first time. You know what I mean? That Superman kind of like for a moment like beat it into him that, hey, you're a living thing. You might not think you are a living thing. You know, and I like that moment in that story. Like, it was very cool.
I'm thinking of the sequel to the Superman movie. He got me in a Superman mood. But I'm thinking, and you know, this is my speculation. So if you want to call, I'm like getting nervous because I know Logic Finest doesn't let me say anything without contradicting me. But I think that Darkseid was the secret supervillain of this movie. Now, my evidence to support that is as follows: Lex Luthor basically is employing primitive boom tubes. He's got those tubes that go to another dimension. And remember when Mr. Terrific is messing with them, there's two big mother box looking machines to the side of them. So like he's got boom tubes. His flying troops, the Raptors, those look like parademons. They look like parademons. He has this technology that is just way beyond him, like, you know, pocket dimensions and neutron stars and everything like that. And then so I just think if he's being sponsored by Darkseid, so Lex Luthor is working for Darkseid, wouldn't that stand that he could mess with this Kryptonian messaging and tear the message and make it look bad? Like, so I think the second movie we're going to see that, you know, Darkseid is going to give Lex Luthor that green George Perez power armor, you know, and Lex Luthor is gonna fight. But anyway, like that pocket dimension was like, it was kind of like Apocalypse, flowing lava and you know, so I don't know. That's what I think. I think Darkseid is the secret sponsor of Lex Luthor in that movie.
Have you ever seen the intro?
Did I lose you? You're frozen again.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Johnny, can
Hello?
you hear
Anybody?
me? Nope.
It's you just sound like a robot. Let's see. Any comments? Any comments? He's not frozen for us. Okay. Did he sound clear? I'm gonna end. We could keep crushing. I'll chill. We keep crashing. I know. I think I'm just gonna end this. I'm getting annoyed every time I start getting into the conversation. It freezes up for me. So, I'm gonna end this. I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Here is my outro.